What's going on, everybody? It's Derrick.
And it's Doug. What's up?
Not a whole lot. Just you and I today.
Yep. Like good old days.
Well, I wouldn't say good old days, because that makes it sound like,
Alright, like the old days.
Okay, there you go. So what's your week been up to?
Work, streaming on occasion. Well, I started streaming last night, some Pokemon Rando Ruby.
That is true. That is.
How did you?
About the same. Mario Kart Fridays, that's always a thing. Therapy on Thursdays. Other than that, I mean, really, honestly, not a whole lot this week. It feels like I didn't really do anything because I had a couple just bad days where I come home and just go right to bed.
Right.
So I was like, okay.
No, I dig it.
So, yeah. Want to say right off the top, we're actually going to start doing things a little differently around here.
Yeah.
Just kind of like redistribute some things, change things up, see that works better for us and stuff. So, like, we'll all be, like, streaming differently on our own channels, unless there's two or more of us.
Yep.
So there's always that, and then I think we're gonna do a little bit lighter podcasts, maybe not have them be an hour long, unless they need to be, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Be a little bit more free form.
Yeah. It was getting to the point because, if you have looked at the past, it's pretty much been like gaming news and all this. It's like, that's great and all, but there's like a million other sources of gaming news.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're just going to talk about, like, things that we've done this week. I mean, we have a big topic this afternoon.
Yeah.
But before we actually get into that, let's throw it over to our sponsors.
Thanks, guys. Our partner for this week's podcast is Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is an online digital store that sells some of the most popular games from the most popular game developers. But that's not all. They also offer bundle deals that change weekly and monthly that allow you to pay a designated amount for a collection of games or ebooks that can often save you hundreds of dollars. Humble Bundle then donates portions of its proceeds to a featured charity. In addition to this awesome business model, they have also partnered with us so we get a small portion of any purchase or donation through their website. All you need to do is go to our website, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click the Humble Bundle partner logo and shop for any games of your heart's desire. Thanks, Humble Bundle. Back to you guys.
So, you and I, this afternoon, early this morning, actually, we went to go see Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yes.
That was an amazing movie.
I like the movie. I can see where some people would have complaints, but I liked it.
Yeah. The kid next to me was clearly bored.
Was he really?
Yeah, just kept flouncing around in his seat. It got really distracting at the beginning.
Well, here's the thing. Never take a kid to go see a movie unless they're like, oh my god!
Yeah, I'll give you there. Without going into huge spoilers other than, like, giant robots fight giant monsters.
Yeah.
The focus was a lot different.
It was a little bit more human involved.
Yes, and I think that's why the kid was involved, because, like, Jaeger piloting as a whole was not till 50% of the way
parts, I'd say there's some parts, about 30 minutes into the movie, where it kind of kicks into the second act, because there's 3 acts. There's Act 1, which is getting our 2 leads up to the point.
Yep.
There's Act 2, which is things are going okay, and that ends when some stuff happens.
Well, I was actually going to break down the acts a little differently.
Okay.
I'll agree with Act 1. Act 2 is like the twist, and Act 3 is always like the conclusion. It's like it's like
Act 2 ended right as, like, the action from the twist.
Yeah, like I think
After,
we can.
I will
think,
say after the Shatterdome was pretty much destroyed.
yeah, when the Jaegers landed in the next hot zone, basically, that
See,
was.
I would say that little montage was the beginning of Act 3.
Yeah, that's where I'm going there.
Okay.
So
But what did you think of it?
I thought it was better than Pacific Rim 1.
Yes.
Because on a level by focusing on the human element, they didn't really they didn't have to really worry about, drift compatibility stuff. They touched on it a little bit.
Right.
But then that was it. There wasn't this...
Like, I seen a reviewer going, oh, they didn't even mention drift compatibility. It's like, bruh, they've had 10 years to work on that.
Yeah.
10 years of peace, not 10 years of, let's go back to the junkyard and what haven't we already used.
Well, for me, more so, it was more along the lines of, that's not interesting to watch again. That was a big part of Pacific Rim 1.
Yeah.
Of, is Mako and Raleigh drift compatible? Like, oh man. But if you do that again, it's just kind of boring.
The one thing I will say is, I hope John Boyega gets more roles that aren't dude looking out for himself, then becomes a hero. Because that's who he kind of is in Star Wars these days.
You know, I kind of like him as that, like, I don't know, like, almost like the Lando character. Like, he kind of, out for himself. I kind of like that because he's got that roguish charm.
See, I do too, but I know that, like, Act 2 and 3 really shows that he can really hold up a movie with his, being a protagonist rather than, like, I don't want to be a protagonist. Act 2 comes around, okay, I'll be a protagonist. Act 3, I'm a protagonist.
Well, I think bigger, and you're a literary person, so you'll be able to understand this. In every hero's journey, the hero is chosen, but the hero does not want to be chosen. So it's clear he is the hero. He is chosen for this by one way or another.
Yeah.
But he does not want to be that chosen, but then turns around and goes, okay, I have to accept my fate. Like,
literary, it makes sense. I just want John Boyega to not be trapped by that, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
I don't want him to go.
I think, and not every movie is about the hero's journey, if that makes sense. So, like, if you've done more of... Every action is going to be some sort of hero's, event. Like, look at, like, Mission Impossible, which is a string of movies. It's like, every movie is like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm out.
Yeah.
And they pull them back in.
Only, that's a good hook. But before we go more into the movie, let's talk about some of the trailers we've seen.
Yes, that's a good idea. There was... The
Rampage.
Spider-Man, huh?
Rampage.
You know what? I might go see that movie.
Here's my thing. Every movie that looks dumb with The Rock in it that comes out, I'm like, I don't know.
Except maybe
like,
Baywatch.
No, I hear that's hilarious.
Fair game.
Fair
game.
I was that kind of way about Jumanji. I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. Watch them like, oh wow, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And like, Fast and Furious films. Because The Rock commits to a role. And we actually seen 2 Rock trailers.
I love that.
Yeah. It was Rampage and Skyscraper.
Yes. There was not a trailer in there that I was like, eh. Because we had Rampage, which I might go see.
Yeah.
We had Action Camp or Action
the
something?
new Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, the new Johnny Knoxville film where it's like all the stunts are actually real. First and foremost, I love Johnny Knoxville. I liked the series Jackass. I liked that.
Yeah.
because of it was prank shows before prank shows were a thing on YouTube.
Yeah, and it wasn't
And
one of those like
everyone
they
who
signed
was,
up for it.
yeah, I was saying, that's actually what I was getting ready to say. Is everyone who was there knew, hey, I'm on the set for a new skit, a new movie. I'm probably gonna get messed around with. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you might randomly shave my head. That's perfectly fine. You might dare me to like get bit by a snake, and that's fine. I know what I'm here for. Whereas like YouTube prank shows, it's like, yeah, you're pranking people who don't know that they're being pranked and who are not up for this.
Yeah, that's what makes Jackass funny, because they're in on it. Whereas like YouTube prank shows, either A, they're in on it, but it's just not funny because it's staged that way they don't, and so it just makes you look like a moron. Or B, they're not in on it, and then you're just bullying someone.
The only cases that I can think of is like when they do something in a public venue, like they box in a mall. They do was Bam was dancing around in the mall, or when or they joke around and like the guy in the bar that breaks out into a midget fight, and it's like, okay, no one is getting hurt here. Their life is not in danger.
And it's the people who are in on it are not harassing people who aren't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Impractical Jokers. Have you ever watched that TV show?
No, I've not.
3 buddies just dare each other to do stupid things in public.
So it's like Social Disorder from Rooster Teeth.
Yes. But it's like they're talking to people. They're not like saying outrageously, for lack of better words, racist and sexist things. They're just, saying things like, they're being awkward.
Yeah, they're being goofy.
It relies on the awkward humor rather than like walking up to someone, and saying some awful stuff. It's like, no, that's not funny. That's just being mean.
It's like walking up to a conversation that you're not really a part of and go, did you know that the female hyena dies giving birth? Huh, miracle of life. And you walk away. It's like, no one was hurt. No one was insulted. You just kind of left and going, I'm confused. What did that... what? What?
Yeah. And like, Bad Grandpa and things like that. Those kind of films with Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O and all those guys. Like, they're great.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they're in on it.
Like, the trailer for Action Camp or whatever, I was actually laughing at the trailer. And I was like, I gotta go see this.
Yeah. And obviously, it's not going to be for everyone.
No, my wife would not enjoy that film because that's not her sense of humor, and that's perfectly fine. But watching Johnny Knoxville pet a porcupine of his own volition, it's mindless, stupid humor that definitely drops your IQ. But that's okay.
See, I hate when people are like, "Oh, movies, like it didn't do any thought provoking." Here's the thing: were you entertained? Yeah. Did it make popcorn taste better? Did it make that icy really good? Yeah. Cool. Movie succeeded then.
Yeah. Was it worth an hour to 2 hours of your time? Yes. All right.
I can waste 2 hours watching YouTube. I will watch 2 hours of YouTube today.
Yeah. Right after this podcast, that
Right.
is your plans.
Yeah.
The other trailers were the new Spider-Man universe.
Spider-Verse?
The Spider-Verse. I am looking forward to that movie.
Yes.
Because I love me some Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'm excited that they're introducing Miles Morales into the Spider-Man continuity.
From what I understand, it's not just Miles Morales. It's like, I want to say they have a Spider-Man based upon Andrew Garfield.
They do.
They've got a Spider-Man based upon Tobey Maguire. I want there to be a Tom Holland Spider-Man. I want there to be a Spider-Man basically for every person who's ever played Spider-Man, and then some.
Yeah, like I think they're gonna have Spider-Gwen and like Spider-Man 2049 or something like that.
The Iron Spider was Spider-Man in Iron Man suit, which is going to be in Infinity War.
Spider-Man, the Iron Spider, was a suit built by Tony Stark in the Civil War arc of the comic books.
What about a
Another
Ock
thing that we need to
Spider-Man?
mention later is the new Power Rangers live-action trailer.
Yes. What about the Doc Ock Spider-Man?
Superior Spider-Man?
Huh?
Superior Spider-Man?
I think that might have been his name.
Oh,
But it's
tell
like
me
when
that's
Peter
what it is.
Parker died, and Doc Ock took his place and like built
Remember that one
spider
time
bots?
Peter Parker gave birth to himself?
Yeah. Because Peter Parker died from himself.
Peter Parker was transformed into a giant spider who died but gave birth to himself. Weird.
Only in comic books.
Right?
Then we had Skyscraper,
Yeah.
another rock film.
I would like to believe that there's like a rock cinematic universe.
The Rockiverse.
Yes.
I'll concede to that.
I'm gonna be working my fan fiction later this afternoon.
Because you've got Fast and Furious Rock. Are we fitting in Doom Rock?
We are gonna fit in Doomrock as well as the Scorpion King, who is his great grandfather.
I propose that because some of them happen and it appears to be at the same time, that they are alternate universes, and thus will star in a movie called The Rock, and every character is played by The Rock.
The Rock. Yes.
It's just, at one point, it's just The Rock and a hilariously bad blonde wig.
It's kind of like my Masterpiece Theater idea. It's called Benedict Cumberbatch's Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like him doing Pride and Prejudice in dresses with like bad wigs and bad makeup. Cracked me up.
Or you see him running from off the side to get back into character.
Yes. Like
You
two
can clearly
characters, like,
tell it was recorded at the same time.
Yes. I think Mel Brooks would have to be involved somehow.
There you go. That would work, isn't?
Along with what's his what was the who was the guy?
The guy.
Who was the keymaster?
Oh, from Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, not Morissette.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Him, he needs to be involved somehow.
Who played Dark Helmet in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Okay.
He needs to be the narrator for Benedict Cumberbatch's Everybody.
Yeah, I 100% agree with this.
I need to write the screenplay.
There you go. Any other trailers there was?
Rampage.
I don't remember any
I'm
other
really
trailers.
surprised we didn't see any, not solo trailers or Avengers.
I can kind of understand why not, though, at the same level.
Yeah.
I'm...
But you know what's really great about watching movies in the afternoon?
What's that?
One, it's quieter. Two, I feel like you get less trailers.
I'll agree. Because no one
'Cause,
wants
like-
to pay for the afternoon slot when 5 people are going to be there. Even this
Yeah.
is the opening weekend for Pacific Rim, which I unfortunately think it's going to flop because trailers didn't really kind of show anything except Jaegers battling Jaegers, which with the way the last movie ended, you're going, I don't get it.
That's kind of what intrigued me. I was on the pre-release stuff, all the information.
Mhm.
I did the Jaeger Academy thing, so I knew a little bit of like Obsidian Fury and stuff like that.
I liked all of the new mechs. Do we want to go ahead and go talk about the movie?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
There was a lot of new mechs in
Athena
involved.
Fury was not Point Break.
I want to say one of them was like Dawnbreaker.
November Apollo or something like that. They were some cool mechs.
And then Gypsy Avenger.
yes.
And then you had Obsidian
Fury.
Fury. And then you...
Yep.
So many good mechs.
Yes.
And they were all different. You had Athena Fury was swords.
Like katana swords.
Katana, they were like dual blades that could go into a katana.
Yep.
You had Breaker, which was a mace with a gun in the chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was cool.
It was like, oh, that's nice. But I was like, that's really clever because like I think it was only the Stormcloud trio from number 1
Yeah.
that had the 3-arm technique.
Yep.
That had all 3 of them in there, but they really didn't utilize that. They were like, and it turns out they're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's 3 people?
I really liked the sound design of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a... Like, pew, 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 and you're just like... It wasn't Star Wars like lasers. It was just like...
The bass was heavy.
bam, bam, bam.
The bass was always heavy, and it's like...
Oh, yeah.
And the footsteps felt real, and the speed felt real. Because here's the thing. They done something right. And it's something that's criticized in every other movie, but they done slow motion right.
Yeah.
Because slow motion can help give something weight.
Yeah.
Or
It definitely
can
can.
take weight away.
Like, Batman walking up to Superman. Do not need slow motion.
No.
Gypsy Avenger dodging a missile. We absolutely need slow-mo.
Because it gives you that, oh my gosh, like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to catch, things that are falling out of the sky. That's amazing just to see this, like, a skyscraper just leaping across the city, and you're like, that is a lot of collateral damage.
But I like how they explained it in this one. They are in underground bunkers, whale away, and it's just like, yes.
Sure they were.
Even though we clearly seen some people weren't.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, the mechs were good. The trailers showed what they were fighting up against, right? I won't tell you how it gets there.
They showed the assembling, but that's about it.
Okay, so we're good to note that there's kaiju.
Yeah.
Okay, there's kaiju.
No!
And I liked all of their designs.
Yeah.
They didn't just reuse designs. Even kaiju that were shown to be in the past, they used new kaiju and going, hey, remember that one kaiju we all known and loved? Hey, guess what? If you look at it from a different angle, you'll see that this other main character was here for number 2 that was there for the same monster as number 1. It's like, no. New monster, new location, new design.
Yeah, and the fact is, like, the nature of the kaiju make it so that it's like, oh, cool. They can be drastically different.
Want to add some spikes? Let's add some spikes. Want to add some mouth flappy doodads? Let's add some mouth flappy doodads.
And even, like, the upgrade... Alright, this isn't a huge spoiler. There's a kaiju that can absorb kinetic impacts.
Yes.
That makes sense in the logic of the both films. Because the Forerunners... Like, if you watch the first one, the Forerunners developed the kaiju to terraform Earth.
Yes.
Obviously, they are kind of linked to the Forerunners. So, they're able to get battle
Data.
reports of, okay, they know that the blood is toxic, so that's why they don't use blades. So they're just, punching in their faces. You know how we can turn that against them? Make it so that way their punches power us up.
Yeah, I liked that. That was a really neat design. Like, hey, burrowing, that's a thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that adds a third dimension to the battle. It's not just up.
I did see some reviewers like, oh, why they add kids? Here's why you add kids. Because, look at our military, our incoming military. They're not grizzled old dudes. They are kids.
And they describe it, and this is like the opening minutes. It's like, 10 years of peace. Well, yeah, Gypsy Danger was the last surviving Jaeger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, every other pilot's gonna be young. Else they would have had them at the battle for the rift.
The breach, yeah.
It's like,
And it's like one of those, I've
Follow
seen
some
some
logic here.
why are they having kids? It's just, think about it.
Well-
You don't have to have Harrison Ford in every position. You need some... Eventually, Hollywood's going to run out of old dudes.
yeah, pretty much.
And I'm sorry to say that. Harrison Ford will die. Clint Eastwood will die. Stallone will die. The Rock, as much as I love The Rock, will die.
No, he just ascends to his own universe.
Yeah, he ascends to the Rockiverse.
Yeah.
We are in the Rockiverse, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, so like, if you think about it, you need to have young kids, and granted, Pacific Rim's not going to be for everyone. It's very much a throw popcorn in my face, drink that icy, and just enjoy an action flick.
Enjoy a Gundam movie because we're never gonna get a Gundam movie.
Right. This is, you know how we say don't make live action anime, except Gundam. This is Gundam in live action.
Because I think it's safe to say in this one we did have robots fighting robots.
Yes. It is the. I mean, they even had a Gundam unicorn reference.
I was
And
gonna
the
ask you
Gundam
about that.
unicorn
Which one?
statue.
Which Gundam was it?
It was unicorn.
Nice. I seen that and I was like, ooh, that's a nice, sweet reference, bro.
But I mean, and people are like, oh, but Guillermo del Toro didn't want those kind of references in the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. This is the second one. Calm down, bro.
This is the second one. He can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah. Well, I was excited to go see this movie. I went on opening weekend.
You know what? The first one I seen, I was like, the first trailers for number 1. I was like, that looks kind of cool. I went and seen it with my fiance, my now wife, and was like, that was awesome. It was just monsters versus giant robots. Like,
I don't need Shakespeare.
you're right. I don't want to go to a movie and go, now let me break down, like, why the characters did this. Why did they do this? No, if I wanted to break down characters and character design, I would just rewatch The Magicians again.
Yeah.
Because, as my wife knows, and everyone around me knows, I break down those characters and think about that show far too much.
It's kind of like how I do with Avatar.
Right. It's like you break down characters. It's like, I don't want to break down why Gypsy Danger was bashing Leatherback in the face. Why Gypsy Avenger was smashing Obsidian Fury. No. I want to just watch it and go, that was pretty dope. And then just go home and watch it and go, I wish I had surround sound because I want to damage my hearing watching this film in glory.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Some movies I'm like, okay, I could not see that in theaters. This is one of those, if you're going to see it the first time you see it, it needs to be in the theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Marvel films, like, they're good, and I will go see Infinity War. You and I are going to go see Infinity War, right?
I have my ticket. You told me you and your wife were going to go.
I'll buy tickets at the same time so we can all go.
I bought mine opening day, dude.
Got it. I
Not
will not
opening,
be there.
Not opening day for the movie, but like on ticket opening day.
I will.
I do not believe there will be.
No, I do not believe there will be.
I'm seeing it like that Sunday.
There, like you said, there are some movies. Like, I didn't go see Thor Ragnarok in theaters. It just didn't play out. And same with Black Panther.
Like, here's the thing. I paid for the Cinemark movie app because I get like a free movie every month. Something comes out every month at least. And here's the thing. I like movies. I like going to the movies. I like the process of the movies.
Yeah. You go, you sit down,
pretty much.
You engage.
And like you said, like after the ending of Pacific Rim, you're like, man, I can feel my phone blowing up. That's the thing, like, I can be all day and not get any text or notifications. But like the second I go to a movie, it's like I'm the most important person in the world. And I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of fun. That's got to be a fun feeling.
I think there's something else about movies, and I know we're talking about movies, and we're not specifically a movie podcast, except it falls within the chill universe.
Yes,
the Chilliverse, as it were.
But you know, let's wrap this to gaming. You know what I'm excited for?
What's that?
Next month, Nintendo Labo comes out where you can be a robot.
Ooh, there is something nice.
Something knife?
There's something nice. It is watching a movie and not checking your phone.
Yes.
Once. Like,
yes.
You can do it at home, but it's one of those, you can pick it up and look at it. There's something about it like, hey, you're not going to do this. It's like, ooh, that's actually kind of, it's one of those nice feelings of, I am here for one reason, and that is this movie. I'm not talking to the next person over about this film. I'm not focusing on anything else but this movie.
Yeah, and I think my fiance's asked us, she's like, because we haven't gone to a movie since Wonder Woman. She's like, oh, I want to go see a movie with you. I'm like, cool, let's go. Let's do this. And it's one of those, like, okay, I don't need to go to the movies with her because, like, I went with you. But here's the thing. We're seeing it at the same time, together.
Right.
But we aren't communicating at all.
Until after the film.
During the movie. Yeah.
I totally get that.
Whereas, like, we watched Jumanji the other day at home, and I enjoy watching movies more with her at home than I do go to the movies. Because it's always this big production going to the movies. It's like, oh, we're going to go to the movies, we're going to go to dinner. I'm going to spend reasonably $100 that day.
Which is not bad. Like
it's not bad, but like it's like, okay, it's a 2-hour movie. Then I'm gonna buy her a drink. I'm gonna buy popcorn. Then we're gonna go to dinner, and then and then go home. And I'm just like, I burnt a day.
Let's also talk about sharing popcorn at the theater. Like I share popcorn with my wife, but it is an interesting experience because you're like, someone's got to hold the bucket.
Yep.
And inevitably you're like, have I eaten too much popcorn? I've eaten too much popcorn. I better let them have more popcorn. And they stop eating the popcorn, so you start eating the popcorn, so they start eating the popcorn. You're like, I'm
enter also
stressed out.
this Civil War, this Cold War. Like, I'm proud of myself. The entirety of Black Panther, I got a medium popcorn. It lasted me the entire movie because I picked up one kernel at the same time. You go see a movie with someone else and share popcorn, by about halfway point, you're grabbing fistfuls because you're just like, they're eating a lot more than I am.
You're like, no, I'm getting more popcorn. And then after the movie, you're like, oh man, I feel like I've eaten too much. You're like, oh yeah, I shoveled a large popcorn down my throat.
Right? I'm also convinced that the perfect movie drink is an icy.
Because you drink it slowly?
Drink it slowly. It always stays cold. And you don't sit there and just like drink it the entire time.
Yeah, because otherwise
it's not like it's not like a Coke where you're just like sip, 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 sip. Wow, I'm refreshed. It's like sip. Okay, I'm good.
It's that extra sugar.
Yeah, and then like the syrup melts off the ice, and like you get that syrupy sweetness by like the 3/4 part of the movie. Where most movies are starting to wrap up, and you're just like, man, you get that movie fatigue.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just get to the goal. No, you have sugar water to drink.
Yeah.
You got cherry-flavored sugar water coursing through your veins now.
Pretty much. Otherwise, I'd say, like, this movie is really good. Go see it.
Yeah, I would recommend, if you're a fan of things like Evangelion... I wore my Voltron shirt that says, I like big bots.
Yeah. I think, honestly, if you're just a fan of just pure action films that have a slight twist, there was a twist I didn't expect from this movie.
No. If you're a fan of the Fast and Furious films, you're going to love this film.
I've not watched most of the Fast and Furious films except the best one, Tokyo Drift. I know. I just like saying that just because it's the only one I've seen.
Well, I mean, if you watch the rest of the films, you see how that loops back into continuity.
Good for the moment.
Bro, I have all the movies.
Nice. There was a pretty big twist, and I liked it, and it brought something fresh to the scene, but ultimately, it's monsters fighting giant robots, and giant robots fighting giant robots and monsters.
Yeah.
And I love it. It makes sense. It's in a weird way. It's a pure film because you're never sold one thing, and
can we agree that thank goodness there wasn't like some weird shoehorned love interest?
100% agree. There was like they thought this girl was cute and stuff, but I'll agree. There wasn't the Raleigh Mako love story, and you're going.
Well, I mean,
don't buy
not
it.
even that. Like Raleigh and Mako, that made sense because like they were literally in each other's brain.
Yeah, but at the same level, it's like, of course they were.
Here's the thing: they're basically of one body at that point. Being as like all their motions for the Jaegers are in sync.
True.
So it's like you. This is gonna sound weird. You're on a deeper level of connection and commitment than like even married couples.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
can
like,
see it.
You are not separate. You were privy to their most base thoughts.
Which
You
is,
can actually read their mind.
I love the critics that are like, well, if they can do that, why do they even talk? Because that would be a boring film. In martial arts, you're taught, like, hey, yell. It intimidates the opponent. As a human, it's like, you have that natural desire to yell. Elbow rockets, the plasma cannon, and stuff like that. It's natural, and it's like, and it lends well to filmmaking because otherwise you wouldn't be complaining about them yelling. You'd be complaining about them. Why are they so silent?
Yeah, pretty much.
This isn't the 1920s silent films where they're on subtitles. No, I'm okay with hearing John Boyega yelling, "Light him up." It's okay because that gets me pumped.
Yeah. And one thing I really wish there was more of, though, was the pilot. Not the pilot, the computer voice.
GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Hey, you just brought that up so you can mention that the lady who voices GLaDOS follows you on Twitter.
No.
No, but you did. Haha!
Thank you. Wink.
But haha, I tricked you into saying it.
Right?
So yeah, anything else? Like, this is a short podcast this week, and that's fine. I like the shorter podcast style. I like longer podcasts.
What are your plans for the rest of the day? Let's go with that.
For the rest of the day, I actually plan on doing some commentating on a couple Zelda random runs.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for that. Getting into kind of more of that scene, but...
Getting back into it, really.
Other than that, probably hanging out, maybe playing some Monster Hunter later with a friend, some Dark Souls. I'm trying to get more into just playing more games with other people.
Yeah.
Getting out and, like, not just...
I'm considering streaming this afternoon.
Do it. I might be at about 9 o'clock. I will probably be streaming, so...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I might do... You know, I'm not going to stream. I'm going to do things for me.
There you go. Sounds good to me. Anything else?
No. Not really.
Awesome. So, until next time, have a good one.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. And thank you to all of our listeners out there, because we really couldn't do it without you. We hope you enjoyed this week's Gaming and Chill podcast. If you'd like to know more about the podcast, follow us on social media, or learn how to support the podcast directly, check us out at www.gamingandchillpodcast.com. Also, be sure to stay up to date with Gaming and Chill by following us on Twitter at gaming_in_chill. Yes, that is gaming_in as in Nancy _chill. You can also find links to the articles, games, and videos mentioned in this podcast in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.